All right, here's continuing our reteaching, set E, F, and G. We are on page 229. Remember that it may be helpful to compare each factor to 1 in order to determine the relative size of the product. So we're going to try to place the missing decimal point in the correct area. So 4 times something less than 1, your answer is going to be less than 1. Less than 4, sorry. So 4 times 0.21, 4 times 21 is 84, but there's 2 decimal places in the problem, so we're going to have 2 in the answer. 4 times 6, if we solve a simpler problem, 4 times 6 is 24, so I know my decimal is going to be going between the 27 and the 9. 7 times 21, if I do 7 times 20, I'm going to get 140, so I know my decimal will go between the 1 and the 2. 6 times 3 is 18. My decimal will go between the 0 and the 4. 31 times 100th, and we know when we multiply times 0.1, we move the decimal 1 place to the left. 0.2, it's 2 places to the left. So my decimal is going to go in front of the 315. For number 6, 1 times 52 is 52, so my answer is going to be between the 3 and the 2. For number 7, if we use that strategy of 0.1, we know our decimal, they're both low, they're both smaller than 1. A number less than 1 times a number less than 1 is going to be a number less than 1. And for number 8, 12 times 160, we could do 10 times 160 would be 1,600. So our decimal is going to go at the end of that one. So you really didn't have to do any computation on there. It's a lot of mental math and problem solving using your brain. And number F, or letter F, remember to count the number of decimal places in both factors in order to place the decimal correctly. So in this, we're doing a lot of multiplying here. Number 1, 9 times 11 is 99. I have 3 digits in decimal place value in the problem. That will give me 3 in the answer. Number 2, 3.67 times 2.4. Right now I can see it's about 4 times 3, so my answer is going to be around 12. I'm going to just kind of put that up in the corner there to help me out. 7 times 4 is 28. Put the 8 down, carry the 2. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2, 26. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. I use those. Now I'm going to distribute the 2. Make sure you move over 1, shift over 1. 2 times 7 is 14, carry the 1. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13, carry the 1. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Add my digits. And remember, we said it's going to be around 12. We have 3 digits in decimal place value in the problem. That means we'll have 3 in the answer. And our answer is 8 point. What am I on here? Yes, I'm on F. Okay, here it is, 8.808. Yep, that's good. 8.808. All right, number 3. Remember, use your notebook to line up your work. Actually, for this one, I think I will use commutative property, and I'm going to put the 10.4 on top of the 8.3. The greater number of digits will go on the top and the lower number on the bottom. It's easier to use the distributive property that way. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Shift over. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 3. And 8 times 1 is 8. Add my digits. 2 digits in decimal place value in the problem. 2 in the answer. Number 4. Now I know my computer does not like to be all the way over here. Well, actually number 4 I could probably do in mental math because 25 times 3 is 75. And I have 3 digits in decimal place value in the problem. That means I'll have 3 in the answer. If you need to do the algorithm, that's fine. Number 5. 23.3 times 6.5. And checking in, I know 25 times 6 is about 150. So let's figure out what we actually have. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1 is 16. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11. Shift over. 6 times 3 is 18. Carry the 1. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 1 is 19. Carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Add my digits. Two digits in decimal place value in the problem, 2 in the answer. Number 6. And we said it was going to be around 150, and we were right. Number 6 is, I'm going to, again, using the commutative property, I'm going to reverse the order of the values. 31 times something less than 1 is going to be less than 31. 7 times 4 is 28. Carry the 2. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 7 times 3 is 21. 2 digits in decimal place value in the problem, 2 in the answer. My answer is 21.98, and that is less than 31. Always try to get that estimation in there. It'll help you check to make sure your decimal's in the right place. It'll give you a good heads up on that. 11.2 times 9.7. It's like 11 times 9. It's 99. Our answer will be a little bit bigger than that, but we're going to shoot for an answer near that. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. 7 times 1 is 7. Shift over. 9 times 2 is 18. Carry the 1. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Add my digits. And 2 digits in decimal place value in the problem, 2 in the answer. And for my last problem on this page, again, I'm going to use the commutative property, and I am going to move my digits around. So I'm going to put 9.67 on the top times 1.4, and that rounds to about 10. 10 times 1 is 10. It'll be a little bit bigger than that because we're rounding up on both. 7 times 4, 28. 6 times 4 is 24 plus 2. Oops. 9 times 4 is 36 plus 2. And I'm going to shift over and multiply by 1. Add my digits. And 3 digits in decimal place value in the problem, 3 in the answer. My answer is 13.58 or 538, and that is near 10, so that looks good. Lots of math. So when you see the test for this topic, you're going to be doing lots of computation. You need to have lots of notebook paper ready to do your work. And when we're finished with this, you will be solid in multiplication. It will come up again in our next topic, because after this we're actually doing topic 10, which is volume, and we'll be doing some more multiplication in there before we start division after the holidays. So let's take a look at our last page here, our last reteaching page. So this is your applied skills pages, and this is where you're thinking about what you're doing. You can write an equation to show the qualities in a problem and how they're related. So Mr. Jennings made the stained glass window below with the dimensions shown. What is the total area of the window? What do you need to find first? You need to find the area of all the different parts. All the different parts. And remember, area equals length times width. It's important to know the formula. So you're not finding perimeter, you're finding area, length times width. Write an equation to model the problem, then solve the problem. All right, I'm going to actually move my board up a little bit here so we can not have to keep moving. Let's get us up here. Okay, write an equation to solve the problem, then solve the problem. So we want to add all the parts. So if the yellow part is 1.8 times 1.5 plus the green part is 1.5 times 0.75 plus the whatever that color is, red part is 1.5 times 0.5 equals. So we need to solve all those pieces and add them up and get the total, and then we will have the answer to the problem. So let's go through and solve each part. So here's for the yellow, 1.25 times 1.8. I know my answer is going to be around 2. 1.25 rounds to 1. 1.8 rounds to 2. So my answer is going to be around 2. Put that off to the side to remind ourselves. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 8 times 2 is 16 plus 4 is 20. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 2 is 10. And we're going to shift over 1. And 1 times 5, 1 times 2, 1 times 1. Add that all together. 0, 5, 2, 2. And I have 3 digits in decimal place value in the problem, so I want 3 in the answer. So I'm going to have 2. Ooh, that's kind of messy. Get rid of that. 2.25, that's my yellow. Now I will do the green is 1.5 times 0.75. And that is rounding to 2, rounding to 1. I'm going to be less than 2 for that one too. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2. Shift over 1. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 3 is 10. Add that. 3 digits in decimal place value in the problem, 3 in the answer, so 1.125. And then my last shape, that reddish color, 1.5 times 0.5. So I'm doing half of 1.5, which I actually know is 0.75, because I think of money. Half of $1.50, 75 cents, but let's see if I'm right. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2. 2 digits in decimal place value in the problem, 2 in the answer. So now I'm going to take all 3 areas and add them up. I'm going to annex some zeros here on these decimals so I have 3 digits, so it just looks better. And I'm going to add. And when I'm adding, I'm lining up all my decimals. So I wind up with 4.125 square feet is my total. I had to do 3 different problems to get the total there. Patty went to the bakery. She bought a loaf of bread for $3.49, 6 muffins that cost $1.25 each, and a bottle of juice for $1.79. She gave the cashier a $20 bill. What do you need to find first? You need to find out first her total cost. How much did all the items cost? Then you can subtract that from the $20 bill. So let's make an equation here and see what we have. She bought a loaf of bread for $3.49. She bought 6 muffins that were $1.25 each, and a bottle of juice for $1.79. And we're going to take all that from a $20 bill. So if you're writing an equation, you want to get super fancy here, your equation would look like this. And keep yourself safe. You could put a bracket or something around all that. So let's figure out what we have. The only thing we really have to solve right in here is 6 times $1.25. Then we can add our totals up. So we have 2 digits in decimal place value in the problem, 2 in the answer. So now we're going to add $3.49, $7.50, $1.79 to find out how much she paid for all her stuff. And we're going to get that total and subtract it from 20. So let's see what we have when we add all these values together. So we have $3.49, $7.50, and $1.79. So starting at the ones place, 9 plus 9 is 18. Put the 8 down, carry the 1. 4 plus 5 plus 7 plus 1. I'm going to group this together. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 plus 5 is 10, and 10 plus 7 is 17. Remember, I have everything lined up in decimal place value because I'm adding. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 2 is 12. So that's how much she paid. So now I'm going to take 20 and subtract 1278 because I want to know her change, how much change she had. So I'm going to take $20, subtract out 1278 for my last step, and I need to do some borrowing, regrouping here because I can't subtract 8 from nothing. So I borrow 1 from a 2 and make that 0 a 10. I borrow 1 from the 10 and make that 0 a 9. I borrow 1 from a 10 and make that 0 a 9. And now I've got a 10 here. So 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 7 is 2. 9 minus 2 is 7. And 1 minus 1 is nothing. So in the end, her change would be $7.22. So that we had to do all that work for that answer, but you can do it. Perseverance, do your work on paper, and make sure you're very neat and organized, and double check your numbers, double check your math, and you'll be fine. Okay, so that is our review of the reteaching pages. You can look on to the review for the chapter test for some extra help. And the chapter test, this topic is 4 pages long. So it is twice as long as the other topic. So make sure you take your time and set some time aside, take a break, come back to it and finish it later, and get your math done. Good luck.